And that's also why they constantly associate Islam with the moon, because the Kabbalist Jews worship a moon goddess, which they call Shekinah. Shekinah is their moon goddess. It has nothing to do with Islam. Don't be deceived by these Sufis, by these Batini Sufis, by these Berelvis and fake Naqshbandis and these liberal Shias. This symbol has nothing to do with Islam. The moon, we're neutral towards the moon. The moon is like the sun. It's nothing special. It's just a part of nature. But for them, the moon is a goddess. And so when you see these Sufis bowing to the moon in their fake mosques, they put it in the direction of Qibla, they put it on the top of their mosques as well. They put it almost everywhere, in fact. This has nothing to do with Islam. This is again their attempt to make Islam appear like them. So that, because in your heart, in your fitra, you hate them, so you get confused into hating Islam instead. But remember, the moon symbol is their moon goddess Shekinah. It has nothing to do with Allah. Allah is not a moon god or a sun god or Saturn or Venus or Jupiter or Mars or anything like that. Allah is the creator of the entire universe. We worship the light of the heavens and the earth, the creator of everything. That is who Allah is. Allah is not the moon goddess or a snake, na'udhu. In fact, not only do we not worship the moon, I'm sure most of you have never heard this, but our Prophet actually warned us about moon magic or moon sorcery. I know this sounds strange to a lot of people because both Muslims and non-Muslims today are told that Islam is some kind of moon religion. And Islam is all about moon symbols and moon everything. And yet, we have an authentic hadith and an ayah from the Quran that all of you have read, but you don't know what it means, because they don't tell you in these fake mosques, in these moon worshipping mosques. They don't tell you the meaning of this ayah. I'm sure you have all read this ayah. It's one of the shortest surahs in the Quran. Almost all of you have memorized it. Almost all Muslims have memorized this ayah. And it's أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب, and from the evil of darkness when it settles. And look at what the Prophet said. He said, O Aisha, do you seek refuge with Allah from the evil of this? For indeed, this is Qasego Iza Wagab, the darkened one as it darkens. So not only do we not worship the moon, we actually seek refuge in Allah from the darkness of the moon. And if you read this entire surah, you see that it's talking about sorcery. The next ayah is also talking about sorcery and magic. So we are talking about seeking refuge with Allah from sorcery, and one of the forms of sorcery is associated with the darkness of the moon. And yet we're told that Islam is some kind of moon worshipping religion, and Muslims have to put the moon symbol everywhere in direction of Qibla. Yet we actually see that there is a sorcery associated with the moon. And that's what you're under when you go into these fake mosques and you're praying behind these satanic imams. They're sorcerers. They're practicing sorcery on you. That's why they're performing the salah incorrectly, like the Khawarij. That's why the salah today is almost identical to the salah of the Khawarij. It's a fake salah. These are fake mosques. Or maybe you can call them mosques, but they're not real masajid. They're not real. This is all fake. These religious leaders, these imams, these mosques, these are moon temples. These are not mosques. These are not masajid. These are temples dedicated to the moon goddess, and they're practicing sorcery on you. The darkened one as it darkens, the darkness of the moon, the sorcery of the moon. And this type of sorcery is what is promoted in Freemasonry and other occult groups, such as, and listen to what L. Ron Hubbard said. L. Ron Hubbard was a Scientologist who was connected to Aleister Crowley, and Aleister Crowley was a Freemason. And listen to what L. Ron Hubbard says. He actually associates the moon with the number 33.
Well, there's stations on the moon, all right. But on the other side of the moon, there are also a colony back there on the other side of the moon. You'll occasionally find a Between Lives tract. There's an asylum up there. You occasionally find a girl who has a messed body up there on the other side of the moon. That moon, the other side of the moon, is Space Station 33.
You see, this is the reason why many of the shills and disinformation agents also focus on this moon landing being fake, and they keep saying that we never landed on the moon and it's impossible for man to land on the moon, and so NASA faked the moon landing. And the funny thing is that this is one of those conspiracy theories that you can find in many bookshops, in many official, Zionist-run, Freemason-run bookstores, in libraries. These are the type of conspiracy theories that you're allowed to see, and which they actually interview a lot on television. In fact, the first time I heard about the moon landing being fake conspiracy theory, the first time I heard it was on TV when I was a kid. I remember watching a documentary on TV about how some people say the moon landing was faked. And so this is one of those conspiracy theories that we're allowed to hear and we're allowed to discuss. Even though we're told we're wrong by TV because they want to create a fake opposition. But you see, what the truth is that they have been on the moon. In fact, they've been on the moon for a very, very long time. The moon landing video that we were shown on TV was indeed fake. That was fake, yes, but they faked it so that we would think that we've never been on the moon. So they created a fake opposition. One side says we have never been on the moon and the moon landing was fake. And the other side says, oh, we have been on the moon and there's nothing on the moon. There's nothing going on there. It's just some empty space and there's nothing. It's just rocks and nothing useful. But the reality is that they have been on the moon the devils, the shayateen, have been on the moon for a very, very, very long time, for thousands of years. And they're practicing sorcery there. And if I tell you what they're actually doing there, many of you are not going to believe me because it's some crazy stuff going on on the moon. But it's to do with sorcery, as it says in the hadith in Sunan Tirmidhi. They are practicing sorcery on the moon, and they've been there for a very long time. And they want us to think that we've never been there, or we've been there and there was nothing there, so we just came back and it's not interesting, it's boring, it's just some dark space and there's nothing going on, nothing to see here. Move away, nothing to see here. And it's interesting that when we look at this here, this is the moon monster. And what do we see again? 33. Again, we see the 33 associated with the moon. So that's why they associate Islam with the moon, so that we become like these Satanists, like these moon magicians, like these devils, like these sorcerers, like these monsters who are on the moon, and these sorcerers who practice moon magic. And many of the fake things that you see in Islam today, many of the fake rituals and the fake way of praying, the fake Hajj, is all to do with moon sorcery. It's to do with practicing sorcery on us. It's to do with deceiving us with this sorcery in the name of Islam. That's why when you go to this fake Hajj in Saudi Arabia, there are all these moon symbols everywhere. And then you go and prostrate there to the moon, even though the Quran says do not prostrate to the sun nor to the moon. But you go to this fake Hajj in Saudi Arabia and they put the moon symbol in the direction of Qibla, in the direction of the Kaaba, of their Kaaba. They put a moon symbol. And so you're prostrating to the moon. Do you see what's going on? We're practicing moon magic and we think that we're practicing Islam. Your Salah is fake. Your Hajj is fake. Your Ramadan, your fasting is all fake. This whole moon religion, this whole Sufi, Shia, Saudi moon religion is fake. This is not Islam. And by the way, another example of them changing our religion so that it would fit into their sorcery and magic is, as I said earlier, the word Mecca. That's why they changed the word Mecca to Mecca. Because when you write it as Mecca, the M looks like a 3 and the E also looks like a 3, so it becomes 33. And so, you see, they even misspell the word Mecca for us. It's not just these bingo places, these gambling places. If you look at the maps, if you look at books that are published today, they all write Mecca as Mecca. So they didn't just write it as Mecca for their gambling, they wrote it as Mecca for us too. So you see, they changed the spelling in our religion as well. As I said, they do it both ways. So they copy us and then they also alter us. They alter our religion. They make us associated with the moon. They spell Mecca as Mecca, and they also try to subliminally associate us with them so that people will become confused. So that's why they tell us to wear Jewish hats, so that people who are opposed to Judaism would instead be opposed to Islam, so that people will be confused about their fitrah, and instead of hating Zionism, they would hate Muslims. Instead of going to the real Mecca, they would go and gamble at these Mecca bingo places. So it works on both levels. It works on two levels. Copy the fitrah and then also change that which reminds people of the fitrah. Change the real fitrah, the real dhikr. So they do it both ways. Censor the real dhikr or change it, and then copy the original, so it becomes really, really confusing.